The Law of One, Book 1, Part 24, Session 12 continued. Questioner: is it possible for an entity here on Earth to be so confused as to call both the Confederation and the Orion Group in an alternating way, first one, then the other, and then back to the first again? I am Ra. It is entirely possible for the untuned channel, as you call that service, to receive both positive and negative communications. If the entity at the base of its confusion is oriented toward service to others, the entity will begin to receive messages of doom. If the entity at the base of the complex of beingness is oriented towards service to self, the Crusaders, who in this case do not find it necessary to lie, will simply begin to give the philosophy they are here to give. Many of your so-called contacts among your people have been confused and self-destructive because the channels were oriented towards service to others, but, in the desire for proof, were open to the lying information of the Crusaders, who then were able to neutralize the effectiveness of the channel. Questioner: are most of these Crusaders fourth density? I am Ra. There is a majority of fourth density. That is correct. Questioner: is an entity in the fourth density normally invisible to us? I am Ra. The use of the word normal is one which befuddles the meaning of the question. Let us rephrase for clarity. The fourth density is, by choice, not visible to third density. It is possible for fourth density to be visible. However, it is not the choice of the fourth density entity to be visible due to the necessity for concentration upon a rather difficult vibrational complex, which is the third density you experience. Questioner: are there any Confederation or Orion entities living upon the Earth and operating visibly among us in our society at this time? I am Ra. There are no entities of either group walking among you at this time. However, the Crusaders of Orion use two types of entities to do their bidding, shall we say. The first type is the thought form, the second, a kind of robot. Questioner: could you describe the robot? I am Ra. The robot may look like any other being. It is a construct. Questioner: is a robot what is normally called the Men in Black? I am Ra. This is incorrect. Questioner: who are the Men in Black? I am Ra. The Men in Black are a thought form type of entity which have some beingness to their makeup. They have certain physical characteristics given them. However, their true vibrational nature is without third density vibrational characteristics, and, therefore, they are able to materialize and dematerialize when necessary. Questioner: are all of these Men in Black then used by the Orion Crusaders? I am Ra. This is correct. Questioner: you spoke of wanderers. Who are the wanderers? Where do they come from? I am Ra. Imagine, if you will, the sands of your shores. As countless as the grains of sand are the sources of intelligent infinity. When a social memory complex has achieved its complete understanding of its desire, it may conclude that its desire is service to others with the distortion towards reaching their hand, figuratively, to any entities who call for aid. These entities, whom you may call the brothers and sisters of sorrow, move toward this calling of sorrow. These entities are from all reaches of the infinite creation and are bound together by the desire to serve in this distortion. Questioner: how many of them are incarnate on Earth now? I am Ra. The number is approximate due to a heavy influx of those birthed at this time due to an intensive need to lighten the planetary vibration and thus aid in harvest. The number approaches 65 million. Questioner: are most of these from the fourth density, or what density do they come from? I am Ra. Few there are of fourth density. The largest number of wanderers, as you call them, are of sixth density. The desire to serve must be distorted towards a great deal of purity of mind and what you may call foolhardiness, or bravery, depending upon your distortion complex judgment. The challenge danger of the wanderer is that it will forget its mission, become karmically involved, and thus be swept into the maelstrom of which it had incarnated to avert the destruction. Questioner: what could one of these entities do to become karmically involved? Could you give me an example of that? I am Ra. An entity which acts in a consciously unloving manner in action with other beings can become karmically involved. Questioner: do many of these wanderers have physical ailments in this third density situation? I am Ra. Due to the extreme variance between the vibratory distortions of third density and those of the more dense densities, if you will, wanderers have, as a general rule, some form of handicap, difficulty, or feeling of alienation which is severe. The most common of these difficulties are alienation, the reaction against the planetary vibration by personality disorders, as you would call them, and body complex ailments indicating difficulty in adjustment to the planetary vibrations, such as allergies, as you would call them. Questioner: thank you. Is there anything that we can do to make the instrument more comfortable? I am Ra. We ask you to realign the object upon which the symbols sit. It is not a significant distortion for only one session, but you will find upon measuring the entire assemblage that the resting place is 1.4 degrees from the correct alignment, the resting place an additional 0.5 degrees away from proper orientation. Do not concern yourselves with this in the space-time nexus present, but do not allow these distortions to remain over a long period, or the contact will be gradually impaired. I am Ra. I leave you in the love and in the light of the one infinite Creator. Go forth rejoicing in the power and the peace of the one Creator, Adonai.